So how do you prevent your kids from spending all of your money? Hi, my name is Edmund.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Cindy.
We're the attorneys here at Amity Law Group. As a law firm, we help our clients protect their assets with tools such as estate plans and living trusts. So this topic comes up a lot for some of our clients who have adult children who spend all their money on everything instead of investing it or saving it. And they want to make sure that if they as parents pass away, that their kids won't have access to all of that money and all those assets and just spend it all. So how do you control your kids' spending even when you're gone? That's the $1 million question, right?
Yeah, so a lot of times, when we do our client consultation and this is a concern of the parents, then we suggest maybe having certain conditions within the trust. Instead of, an outright distribution upon your death, maybe you stagger it for certain purposes or by age or whatever it is necessary to somewhat control the spending of your kids. But keep in mind that if that does happen, you do need to have a trustee that you appoint that will help make sure that these are managed in the way that you've accounted for within your trust. And so your kids would not necessarily be the trustee anymore, right? Because there would be no checks and balances if they were also the beneficiaries and the trustee. So you need to name somebody that can hold on to these assets and do the distribution accordingly to, age or whatever restrictions that you put on.
Yeah, so you can get pretty creative with the restrictions. It could be, where you're limiting the spend on certain types of things that they can spend on. So you're being very intentional about their distribution. So for example, it could be just for education. You can say 20% of your your benefits will have to go to education. Or maybe upon receiving a 4-year degree, now you can receive a certain percentage of that inheritance.
Yeah, I've had clients go above and beyond with their restrictions. They're concerned that their kids won't get married or have kids of their own. Mm-hmm. So they'll do a special fund for, if you do get married, you get a certain amount. And then if you have kids, then you're going to be allotted another amount. So it's to encourage them to do certain things. I had clients where they would do a startup fund for them if they were to start their own business. They were to get a master's degree or above, then they would get a certain amount. So it's really up to you how much you want to control. But do keep in mind, then this trustee would have to basically be your arm, basically, to make sure that these things happen. And so I generally would suggest to my clients, maybe do it by age. It's a lot easier to confirm that this occurred, right? If they turn 30, if they turn 40, if they turn 50, that's going to happen. That's an age kind of defining moment where you can distribute a certain percentage at that time. And then the trustee would not necessarily have anything ambiguous to follow or maybe have questions of. So once their birthday comes around, then that's a very defining moment of a distribution.
Yeah, so your conditions don't only have to be to encourage, your conditions can also be to discourage. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So for example, Hugh Hefner passed with a trust that stated if his children were to become drug abusers, substance abuse, then they would basically have a timeout from enjoying the benefits of his assets. So I think he said something like, they'd have to be in a recovering facility for at least a year and not be using any substance for at least a year before that they can resume any distributions.
So as you can see, a living trust is so flexible and it helps you maintain so much control even though you may have already passed. And so that's why a lot of clients come to us to help them set up living trust. Living trust gives you so much more control than a will does. Not only does living trust help you avoid probate court, but it also maintains all of these wonderful options for your family so that you can actually take care of them. Because sometimes giving your son, your daughter all the assets might not take care of them. It might ruin them. right? And so if you understand that about your children, about your family, then take the precaution and the extra steps to make sure that what you leave behind is actually going to take care of your family. And if you have any questions about how to structure your living trust to make sure your kids don't spend all of that money, give us a call. We offer free consultations. Our office is in Rosemead. And until our next video, we'll see you soon and take care.